You're already a friend of mine because you're tuned in to the Get Well with Me podcast. And I want you to come and hang out with me this Wednesday and experience the magic of a live group hypnosis session on Zoom. So look for the link to sign up for Wellness Wednesday in the episode description. And don't resist the urge to click that link because I'd absolutely love to see you there. Welcome to episode 136 of the Get Well with Me podcast. I am your host, Adrianne, and together we explore the healing powers of our subconscious mind while leaning in towards a healthier lifestyle. And our philosophy here is excellence, not perfection. And today I want to share with you some material that is on the forefront of my mind. I had a very special friend recommend to me the book the energy bus. And she didn't actually say anything about it. She just sent me a picture of the energy bus. This was the second time that someone brought up that book. And I said, hey, I know a sign when I see it, right? The fact that that came up twice in a couple months' time told me that's going to be my next book on Audible. I love to consume books by audio. I just allow positive, helpful content to saturate my mind. And I set an intention like I can go about my day, do my laundry, do my stuff, and listen. And while I'm tidying up the house or making the bed, I can listen to a book and become completely immersed in that book. If you do listen to audiobooks, you are going into trance. It does not mean that you can't go about your business because that's the amazing thing about the subconscious mind. Just like a little child learns while they're bebopping around, discovering and playing, their minds are absorbing, their subconscious is learning. And we do not lose the ability to do that. Yes, it's true. We are much more frequently in a hypnotic state as children, and that does allow us to learn faster. However, some of the same ways that we learn as children are the same ways that we learn as adults. So I have this thing where I don't really consume a lot of fiction books. And a friend mentioned to me that The Energy Bus was a fiction book that I would like because it would have a purpose to it. I really like to have an intention. Like, why am I consuming this material? Is it going to be helpful for me? So, some highlights from The Energy Bus. It was a short book. I think it was only 2 hours and maybe 2.5 hours on Audible. So I was able to absolutely overcome the laundry that was on the couch for way too long while I was listening to this book. And it made folding the laundry so much more enjoyable. Talk about multitasking, right? Getting things done, learning something at the same time, and increasing my positive energy. So, this book, The Energy Bus, I don't want to give away all of the details, but I'll let you know it's about a guy that has my pet peeve. He's always thinking that things don't go his way. He believes in Murphy's Law, that everything that can go wrong will. And that, of course, you know what I'm going to say next. He says he can't catch a break. And I always say, these beautiful people who say that they can't catch a break wouldn't even know if they caught one because we have to tune our minds to what it is that we want to see. And we're doing that, whether we realize it or not. So, in this book, he has a series of unfortunate events that he was not able to see any of the flip side. He wasn't able to see that sometimes things begin to look like they're not going our way or they seem like they're an adversity. But we do know here on the Get Well With Me podcast that every adversity has the seed to an equal or greater benefit. I believe that is a quote from Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. When I got to the fifth chapter, that was about don't waste your energy on those who refuse to board. Whoa. I suddenly went from being Joy the bus driver to the main character, and I could really relate to what he was feeling there. I think something that I have struggled with in the past and continue to work on, notice how I chose my language very carefully there, is when there are people in my life, in my close circle, that recognize that I am driving my bus and they either pretend like I'm not, or they just absolutely refuse to get on, I don't always feel so good. And I really do sometimes take that personally. I know better. I know that what other people think of me is none of my business. And I know that I am not responsible for the happiness of others. However, deep down, I feel that way sometimes. So just being really honest with my feelings and with you, because I might come across so confident, but I have moments, I have a lot of moments where I think I should just like delete everything. I just want to delete everything and be normal and not stand out. But that's not who I really am. And so that's never going to happen. But those thoughts do pop up in the shadows. And you know what's interesting about shadows? Shadows are really just where the light is being blocked. So I consider that as well. The next rule on the energy bus was remove the energy vampires from your bus. You know, the energy vampires. You know that you spend time with certain people and you come away from that interaction feeling energized, feeling better, feeling more clear, feeling more happy, feeling more hopeful. Maybe you don't notice, but you will today. Maybe you will begin to recognize that some people give more than they take energy wise, and vice versa. So if there is an energy vampire in your life, or how about there's an energy vampire in everyone's life, and if you find out that the energy vampire is the internet, or it's on the internet and it's something that you're scrolling by, then I invite you to hide that content or delete or unfollow that content, because there are a plethora of energy vampires out there, and they are not allowed to feast on my blood. Uh, I have a thing, like when I was a kid, I was always totally afraid of vampires. Um, As a matter of fact, I'm a sensitive person, and anything horror related, I don't have a great tolerance for, because those pictures really do get into my mind. And energy vampire is a perfect way of describing a person that sucks the life right out of you. So remove them from your bus, right? If it's your bus and you're the driver, then you can tell them to get off the bus. Maybe you can imagine yourself, if you rode a school bus when you were a kid, then you could just imagine that like big handle that she had to open the door, and the noise that the door made, and the sound of people getting on and off the bus, and that unique smell that the bus had. And now in this scenario, you're the bus driver. And if you don't like the way that they're behaving or the way that they're making you feel, you can kick them off of your bus. And in real life, maybe that just means like spending less time with them or unfollowing their content. But it's your bus, don't forget that. Use enthusiasm to attract and retain passengers. That is so true, right? Enthusiasm just makes people come alive. I think about Zig Ziglar and his enthusiastic speaking. He really, if you want to get hyped, listen to some old school Zig Ziglar. I love his enthusiasm. I think I learned a ton about voice inflection from listening to Zig Ziglar, being able to use my voice like an instrument to bring attention where I choose to bring it, or to minimize other parts of my speech. So, yes, enthusiasm, like jump up and down sometimes. I do think people can be annoying with it. I actually was recently at a meeting where I was like, okay, I don't know if you're being professional right now with your enthusiasm. So that's up to you. You can monitor your enthusiasm. But I can tell you that if you're kind of humdrum, then kick it up a notch, right? Put on your favorite song, put on a song you never heard before, something that just makes you move your body, something that makes you smile, right? It's up to you to crank up your enthusiasm in the places that you want it to be contagious. Here's another one of the rules of the energy bus. Love your passengers. For me, that's easy. I can't not love the passengers on my bus. My definition of success is to make sure that the people that I love know that I love them. I've heard people ask the question, what would you want someone to say about you? I think this is from Justin Schenk's Growth Now podcast. It's a question that he used to ask, and then he kind of retired, and he recently brought it back. He says that if you could just be remembered for one sentence, if all of your legacy was deleted, your content, your Facebook profile, all of the things, your diaries, your pictures, just everything, like as if you're wiped out, but people could remember one thing, one sentence, what would you want it to be? And I know I would want it to be, she loved me. I kind of like to think of that quote beginning with the end in mind. So if it's not too weird to think about what your funeral service or memorial might be like, the only thing I want people to think is she loved me, right? She loved me. I I just hope that I connect with people in such a way that they actually know that I love them. So sorry to get emotional, guys. Or maybe I shouldn't apologize for that, but I don't like to sometimes I am aware that I'm very intense. So thank you for bearing with me. Okay, drive with purpose is the next rule. Yes, drive with purpose. That's amazing. Like, why would we not drive with purpose? And sometimes the purpose of driving is just to take a ride. I get restless, especially working in my beautiful home office. I'll just make up a reason to go somewhere, right? Just to the dollar store or something, like just take a ride. And that in that case, it might just be to relax. It might just be to clear my head. It might just be because I know that when I drive, I go into a trance, right? Where time can just go by, just like the lines on the road. And my subconscious mind drives just perfectly, thankfully. um, have fun and enjoy the ride. That's the last one. I always say that. Like, is your fun tank filled up? It is summer right now. At least this day is, I'm looking at the time and date on my computer screen, July 31st, 2023. Wow. That's amazing. Isn't it funny, like when you're young, you think you wouldn't even live that long, right? Or even, I don't know, I just kind of thought everything would blow up eventually. But yet we are still here. I am here right now recording this. And we might as well have fun, right? We absolutely might as well have fun. We have a fun tank and we need to fill it up. It helps us to be more enthusiastic, right? Part of having fun is being with other people. Part of having fun is being with people who are not energy vampires. Part of having fun is being enthusiastic. So all of these things kind of tie together in a simple rule that is have fun and enjoy the ride, right? Like, why should we not enjoy the ride? Have you ever been in a vehicle with someone that's just so determined to be miserable? They want to complain about every driver and the traffic and the bumps in the road and this and that. That's fine. Maybe that's just their style of driving, but I prefer to enjoy the ride, to notice the beauty that's out the left side of my window and the right side of my window, and look for things that I haven't seen before and crank up the music to a song that I can sing along to. One of the songs I like to sing along to is Paul McCartney's, it's like, My Love is Like a Wheel, I Want to Roll It to You. I don't know. That one just expands me. Okay, so the energy bus. If you've never read or listened to The Energy Bus, great book for a young person, for an old person, for anyone who needs to be reminded that they are the driver of their bus, and that if they don't like where they're headed, they are the one that gets to change the direction. That you are the person who decides who can get on and better get off your bus. And you get to decide to not waste your energy on people who don't even want to get on your bus. That's okay. That's all right, because your bus is going to keep going either way. So, so this Energy Bus is a book by Jon Gordon. You can get it probably everywhere and definitely on Audible. So go ahead and enjoy that. Share it with someone you love. And remember, you are the driver of your own bus. Until next time, much love.